Welcome to Policy on Demand. I'm Kristina Novak. Dispute resolution can be a tricky topic, and it is no exception for the transfer pricing space. We are at the Transfer Pricing, Customs, and Indirect Tax Conference in Prague, and I'm delighted to talk about dispute resolution with Mona Cairncross and Ian Dykes. Mona, Ian, thank you for joining me.
Good to be here.
Thank you for having me, Kristina.
We have several questions I want to run through. I think this first one, if I can just get quick feedback, because we'll go into more depth on some of these other questions, but I want to start off by stating the obvious. Transfer pricing dispute resolution, it's extensive, it's expensive. What are companies faced with regarding dispute resolution, including APAs? What are some of the issues that they are thinking about? So I'll start with you, Ian.
Sure, and what we've seen over the last maybe 10 to 15 years is a real divergence of view from different tax authorities. So it used to be the case that there was a fairly common understanding of how to apply the transfer pricing guidelines. That's not the case anymore. So dealing with disputes in a transfer pricing context has become much trickier than it used to be.
Yeah, but I guess no matter what your position is, just be ready to support it, right? Whether it is if you're facing an audit or you're in an APA, just be able to provide the documentation, the support that the tax authorities would need to resolve all the disputes, right, in the first place. So I think that that's very important too.
That makes sense. What are the key trends or issues that clients are facing regarding transfer pricing disputes globally? Mona?
Yeah, so I think in the compensatory space, you see a lot more of services, transactions, and now, if I may say, high-value services. They're being priced with methods that are not the typical routine kind of benchmarkable, methods like the TNMM, for example. So then you're now looking at decision-making people, where these people are located, and using that as a way to allocate profit to different countries. So I think there's a emphasis and focus on people, decision making, and people's functions.
Right. And it's really driven by the fact that perhaps, again, going back a few years ago, when businesses centralized their operations, it was often in one significant hub. But far more commonly now, businesses are putting their more senior or core functions that they're dispersed. There may be a single function is over here and another one over here, or it might be that in any given function there are people all over the place, and that's a far more common fact pattern for our clients. And again, because of the way that the OECD guidance has gone, it's very difficult for them to find good comparables for these dispersed functions, and that leads to the kind of issue that Mona's talking about.
That makes sense. Transfer pricing audits and joint audits, they're both increasing globally. With respect to dispute resolution mechanisms like APAs, MAPs, ICAP, what are both of you seeing? I'll start with you, Ian.
Sure. Well, from a European perspective, we're seeing a lot more joint audits than was the case previously. So this would be a situation where often there's one hub location and there are several jurisdictions who have transactions with the hub, and the tax authorities are auditing those jointly. Essentially, that means that they're exchanging information. It means that they're coming to the taxpayer together for information, and the negotiation dynamic in that kind of situation is quite different. So we're seeing a lot more cooperation on that front, and then how that's leading into APAs or competent authorities. Kind of interested to hear your perspective.
Yeah, so I think with respect to APAs, you see a lot more of the fact finding done jointly by both competent authorities. So they do functional interviews together. They issue joint questionnaires, which can really help during negotiations, because then you're not spending a lot of time during negotiation disputing the facts or talking about the facts, because once you do them jointly during the due diligence process for an APA, you learn about the facts, and you ask any questions on the spot, and both competent authorities are hearing the information at the same time. So I think that really helps, again, when it comes to negotiation, to kind of go straight to the methodology and you start talking about compromise, right? And where, yeah, that's what we're seeing, the trends. A lot more collaboration, exactly, between, I guess, competent authorities, yes.
So what steps, now taking all of this that you guys have already talked about, what steps can multinational companies take to sort of minimize disputes and, to enhance the cooperative compliance? Ian?
You can see where this leads. We have situations now where if tax authorities are engaged in a cooperative way, it's very important for clients to be prepared for that. I think it's important to have a view of your value chain that can accommodate the different perspectives and a consistent position, and to have thought through how this is all going to play out when the tax authorities engage. So it's really about good planning.
It is, and talking about planning just from the beginning, right? Just when you're setting up your transfer pricing policy, thinking about it from a kind of global perspective, be consistent, because sometimes you see a lot of taxpayers trying to avoid audit in certain countries, certain places, but then that may trigger audits in other places. So just be, to your point, Ian, being consistent, being able to cooperate, provide the information that tax authorities are looking for, including supply chain, all the analysis that you need to support your position. So essentially consistency on a global scale. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Kristina. It was great to be here.
Look for more transfer pricing and customs interviews from this conference under the Transfer Pricing channel on the Policy on Demand website. Thank you for watching, and take care.